Jewish people, and he said to her, well, if you equate Yeshua with God, then we have nothing to talk about. And if not, then we can talk. I was a little shocked at how sort of forthright he was, although that is obviously the accepted rabbinical position. But I think that we have to be seeking to understand one another first of all. And that is why I'm willing to work with Gadi and people who are wherever they're coming from. And somebody else just requested an academic reference for some books that have come out. I forget the name of the professor that has done this in South Africa. He's trying to get these to universities in Georgia, and it's 3 big volumes about the history of the 10 tribes in exile. And I go to his website, and he's a messianic Yeshua, every plastered all over it. And
if I may say, we teach that Hashem said when we just came out of Mitzrayim, that we may not make a picture from above under the heavens, but that we have to do the mitzvot and to have chesed. And also when we approach what they believe Messiah, then it is also forbidden to make from him that he is God or that he is not God or whatever. That it is forbidden. Right. But they hold on the belief that the one who walked here around 2000 years back, that he really was the word of Hashem that became flesh. And how difficult that to understand is normal, because it is human. And but you may not, it is forbidden, that's what he teaches, and it comes over, he said. Everywhere where he travels around in India, he tells me, Ariel, they really understand that is not God.
I can well accept this, and I don't have a problem with this personally. I mean, I believe that there's a very famous story when Rabbi Akiva first wanted to learn the Torah, and he was a man of 40 years old, and he had to go and sit with the little boys learning Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav all day. And he was so upset that nothing was going in, and his heart was, and he went away from the cheder, and he went to sit by a stream, and he saw how the water wears away the stone. And he said, well, if the water can wear the stone, then the words of the Torah, which are water, will wear down the stone in my heart. And this is what we're doing. We're sending out words of Torah, and hopefully more and more. And they will, you can't control them. I mean, they're God's, God gave them freedom.
But still, that is what becomes clear for the members of Rabbi Ya'aqov. I know still that there are Ephraimites, they are not agree with that, yes, but also our ultimate goal is not to settle in Israel, in the surrounding countries, if it becomes possible. And then you have no problems with the law on both sides. When they come here, they have to do what is here the law in every area.
Well, the Lubavitcher Rebbe in his later years many times made a statement, he repeated it, he said that you have to make Eretz Israel where you are. If it's in America or Britain or Europe or Africa or Australia, he said that, he said you have to make Eretz Israel there. Rabbi Nachman says something similar, he says wherever Yisrael is, that land where he's saying becomes Eretz Israel if he keeps the Shabbat there, if he keeps the Torah there, that is Eretz Israel, because it's a land where somebody does activities of Israel. I mean, that's going to greatly simplify things if everybody for the moment will just stay where they are until, you know, the overall political situation becomes a little clearer, which is going to take some time, I believe.
But as an, yeah, I have to say that in a way we teach, if you come in contact with Jews, then you be as the Jew that you met. You hold on the halachot rotetu, and you don't go against it, you don't try to change it or whatever. You live with it in the same way as that you are at home, where not all the Jews are counting. So that is the goal. But in it, they like to be come strong together, because these are most of the people. If you look to Pakistan, they have a past, not normal. And the Ephraimites and Menashe in India, they have also a terrible past, and also with the treatment that the Jews gave them in India. And when I went the second time to Israel, to India for a long time, I went also to Mitzora. Almost the whole nation is Menashe. Only they are Presbyterian.
Where is this location again? It's in
Northeast, I think.
Northeast of India?
Yeah. And there's a big county, but it's India. And they almost become the only party, and then they split off from India.
I mean,
but no, the point is, they are Presbyterian, and I feel when I was there, like the Jesus people in the 60s, and they went over the world, they were really hippies, all love and etc. But they are church people, really, and what I try to say is, many now we hear that Bnei Menashe came back, yeah, and the last one came back. And we brought back around 17,000.
Yes. Just quite recently?
Yes, and they were the last ones, that is stated, the last ones. But you have a couple of millions in Mitzoran. Okay, they do something wrong. Yes? You may not, but you cannot say they are no more Menashe.
Well, here,
and that is where it hits them. Between two people. When one people do that to the other people, then that one people hits them so hard that they become more fanatic in what they are. I am a simple guy, but so I went to the head of the Presbyterian church there, and I asked forgiveness for my Jewish brothers what they did here. Not to say that it is right to believe in Jesus Christ, but not to declare you non-Jewish, or non-Israeli. Not from the left side. That they don't exist anymore. They are dead. Now, I think that is one of the biggest things what we Jews did. Really.
Which period are you speaking about?
That I said that?
Which historical period did the Jews cause this?
This is the last area, the last 20, 30 years.
The Jews in India or the state of Israel?
No, the rabbis who went there.
Rejected them?
They rejected them because they became Jewish.
Because they became Jewish, or because
no, they didn't like to become Jewish.
They did not want to become Jewish, so the rabbis rejected them.
Then they are dead. But then Menashe is still existing.
The rabbis were saying that You are not. We don't consider you Jewish, and we don't consider you Menashe.
Yeah.
That's what. In other words, you don't exist.
And before that, they got a miserable life. They are something. There's something. The last 100 years, 120 years, en masse they became Christian. They came out of a certain world. It was very difficult for them.
Right.
And they see they saw really in it a spring in their people.
Well, this is always going to be a problem in the foreseeable future because everybody has got into postures and attitudes. I mean, you see it in the Tanakh, you see in the book of Kings and Melachim, you see after Rehoboam and Yeroboam, when they started the whole split between the kingdoms, you had already the time of the king Aviah of Judah and the king Asa of Judah. They both fought against the 10 tribes, and there was in later generations again Amaziah and the whole history and the flying, I mean, curses and recriminations. So we're going through all this again today. I do believe that the best work is going to be done with a low profile publicly. I mean, if I get up here in the streets and say the kind of people I'm willing to speak to and collaborate with, I'm going to get stoned or lynched within 10 minutes.
Yes.
But a lot can be done, you know, quietly, diplomatically, and I mean,
But you think that I was wrong to say that we were wrong?
I'm not familiar with all the facts of the situation.
No, but that's what I understand.
I very often feel that Jewish people are very offensive to Gentiles, and I often feel that one needs to go to the Gentile and mollify the Gentile and say that we don't, you know, I don't think this is proper behavior. I definitely think so. I mean,
Not to accept that I believe in Jesus Christ.
I hear you.
That is something else.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.